my name's Alex Wilson. I am an accredited mental health social worker. I'm also the owner and operator of Mindful Recovery Services, which is a counselling service on the New South Wales Central Coast. I'm making this little video for you today to help walk you through how to apply for victims of crime counselling support. Okay, so this is through the New South Wales government. Other states have their own version of this, but I'm going to be showing you today the one in New South Wales. You will also have received some general written information about victims counselling, what it is, who it's for, who can apply. So I'm not going to go into that stuff. What I am going to do is walk you through the online application process. It's actually really easy. It'll take you less than 5 minutes, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So you can see on my screen that I'm just in the Victim Services website, okay? So you can see the website up the top here, victimservices.justice.nsw.gov.au, or of course you can Google them, but this is the page that you want to go to, okay? So the New South Wales Government Justice Victim Services website. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're just going to scroll down here, see this section, Approved Counselling Service, okay? So you want to click on Information for Victims Accessing Counselling. Okay, so we click on that, see where that's going to take us, or we might have to click again. There we go. All right, now this gives you all the information. This is actually what is in the written information that I've put with this little video pack. So you might have got this information from your GP or from me or from another mental health service or health service. So you can read through that. But the easiest thing to do is to here, go onto the left and just click on online forms, okay? And that's going to take us down here. You can see application form for counselling. So victim services provide a range of supports, but this is the one we're focused on today. So we're going to click on that. Now that is going to take us into the online application form. Okay, so we'll just wait for it to load up here. Here we go. So application form for counselling. Now you can save your progress and resume later if you want to, or if you've got a previously saved form. But again, this should take only, less than 5 minutes. So see how you go with it. Now it's a bit funny. They don't give you a yes or no here. So they run you through the application. They say 20 to 40 minutes. It never takes me that long, but again, see how you go. This question, in which state did the act of violence occur? So to meet the criteria for New South Wales victims counselling, the offence needed to occur in New South Wales. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about that, maybe get in touch with Victim Services and ask them about your specific scenario. So we're going to leave that as New South Wales. And have you previously lodged an application? So if you have, that's okay. You can lodge more than one. I have plenty of clients who do that. But for today, we're going to say no. So see, if you clicked that, they're going to ask you for more information. We're going to uncheck that. Okay. Next page. So here's where you're just going to put in all your personal details, okay? So you just choose whatever it is. I'm going to just do a made-up person. Okay. Any previous names, your date of birth. And they want it, of course, in this format. And then if you're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders, you can click this. Now this information goes into their database. It's all secure. It's used, this information is used for statistical purposes. A contact number, so we'll just... Okay, an email. Just put in my email there, preferred contact method you can choose, and if you have a preferred contact time, okay? Now they're going to ask you for a residential address. You only have to fill in this stuff. Again, I'll just put my office address, just so it lets us move on. New South Wales, postcode, and we're in Australia. Is the postal address the same? Yep, don't have to fill it out again. Easy. If you have a different postal address, obviously you fill it out. Okay. You can see down the bottom, you can save and resume at any time you want to do that. Now, this section, do you have a representative? So you can nominate a representative to do all of the liaising with victim services if you don't want to do that. It could be a family member, a friend. If you click on this, you just have to put in all of their details and relationship to the victim. So again, this could be family, friend, it could be a caseworker, it could be a carer, anybody. I sometimes, with my clients, sometimes they'll ask me to be a representative and I'll just put myself under other and I'll just say, counselor, something like that. And then the contact details. That just means that victim services will contact your representative for all the information around approvals and sessions and things like that. Okay, but let's go ahead and uncheck that for now. We're not going to have a representative. We're going to do it ourselves. Next page. Okay, now this is where they ask you for the details about the act of violence. Now, again, this is just to ensure that you meet the criteria, but also for statistical purposes, all right? This does not go to the police. This doesn't go anywhere else. This isn't shared. It's a very secure database. So they're going to ask you, did the act of violence occur on a specific date or over a period of time? So was it one particular date that this happened, or was it over a broad range of time? Okay, so let's just say over a period of time. And here, again, you might not know the exact dates, if you can sort of guesstimate. So let's say from, the 1st of January 2005 to maybe the 3rd of March 2007. Let's say it went over a 2-year period. Now, again, for statistical purposes, they're just asking you, where did the violence happen? So was it at a private residence, a house? Was it somewhere outside, a hospital, a licensed premises, an office, a park? You've got all these different options. Other is there as well. Let's just go with private residence for now. And if you don't know, that's not a mandatory question. So these ones with the red asterisks are mandatory. Don't worry about the rest. Suburb, okay, so if you know the suburb where it occurred, they do ask you for that, and again the state. The nature of the act of violence. So this, might be a little triggering for people, but this is, just generally what kind of violence was it, and you've got all the different options there. So I might just choose assault. And a brief description of what happened. Okay, so in this section, I might say something like, male partner assaulted me over 2 years, physically and emotionally. I was in hospital several times as a result. Okay, it can just be really simple, all right? Do you know the name of the offender? Now, you don't have to tick this, but if you do, you can just put in a first name, okay? It doesn't go anywhere. It's just for their information, okay? So let's go to the next page. So none of this is saved, by the way, okay? That's why I'm putting all the information in. Okay, was the act of violence reported? It doesn't have to have been. Okay, but if it was, you might just tick, okay, yes, police were involved, or did it go to court? If there's anything you want to upload, but you don't have to do this at all. So let's just keep going. Okay, so applying for counselling. Would you like to apply for approved counselling? Yes, that's why we're doing the form, okay? And would you like victim services to allocate an approved counsellor on your behalf? So you have 2 options here, and this is an important part of the form. You have 2 options. You can ask victim services to allocate you an accredited counsellor. So they have a database of accredited counsellors like myself, and basically where people who have a minimum of 3 years postgraduate experience working with trauma and victims of crime. We go through the accreditation process, and if we're approved, then we get on their database, okay? So there's psychologists, there's social workers, there's a range of different clinicians on there. So if you don't have anybody in mind, you can tick this and they will find someone from the database who is close to your geographical area, okay? So you get to choose, whether you'd like a male or a female. You nominate, put in your own suburb, and they'll find someone close to you, and language and any type of disability access, okay? If you do have a preference, okay, so if you have a counsellor in mind already, maybe your GP's recommended somebody, or maybe your friends or family have recommended somebody and you know that they're approved, you just check that little box and then you can put their name. Okay, so if someone was going to come and see me, or did I put my name in? There is a thing here where if you have an existing counsellor and they're not approved, they can apply for interim counsellor status. If you really want to stick with them, you might have a chat with your counsellor about that. Okay, so if somebody puts my name in, then they will allocate this person to me. Now, this is just the declaration. So this is where you say, yes, what I have said is factual. This is, a legal document. You can't be fraudulent on this. So you basically say, yes, and I agree to the conditions. Okay. And we're going to submit. Now, I'm going to hit submit. Don't freak out because this hasn't actually submitted yet. So don't get caught out on this stage. You must click the confirm button at the bottom of this page to finalize your response. Okay, so this summarizes your application. You can print this out for your own records if you like, just so you remember what you've put in your application, or if your counselor, wants that. When somebody refers a counselor to me, when somebody refers a client to me from Victim Services, I don't get any information about that client until they show up. So unless I've already met them, they come and I don't get any information from Victim Services. That's all kept confidential. So you might want to print this out if you want to take it to your counsellor, just so that you don't have to go through the story again. Okay. Now, in order to lodge the application, you have to go all the way down the bottom of the page here, check everything's correct. And if you're happy with it, go down the bottom of the page and click confirm. If you don't do that, it doesn't get submitted. Okay, it's a little tricky. I'm not going to hit confirm because I don't want this to go through. All right, so that is, and I'm just going to go back here and log out of that. Okay, so that is the Victim Services application process. Now, what you'll do once you click confirm is that you will get a little confirmation message. You'll get a receipt number for your application. Now, it really varies the time factor. Several months ago, it would take maybe 4, even 6 weeks to get the approval through. Lately, I put an approval through, or a request through, the other day, and it came through the next day. So it really varies. It depends how busy they are. I know that Victim Services have been trying to streamline their processes to make it more efficient. You will get an email confirming your approval. Also, your nominated counsellor, so whether they allocate one for you or whether you chose them, they will get either an email or a letter saying that you have been approved and that you've been allocated. That doesn't give them any of your contact information. So again, if you don't already know your counsellor or have an appointment booked, you'll be responsible for calling them and booking that appointment and saying, I have approval under Victim Services to see you. I'd like to book in. Okay? So I hope that helps. Any questions, you can contact Victim Services, or if you already have a counsellor, you might want to ask them to help you go through the application process. I sometimes do these applications with clients in sessions if we're going to switch them over to Victim Services from a different program, say Medicare. So ask for help if you need it, but hopefully that helps. All right. Best of luck to all of you. I hope you find a really great counsellor that you click with and you can really create the life that you want and deserve. Okay. Bye for now.